Welcome back from that break. Right now, I'm being joined by Abdulhamid Dankiako, and he is the former Northeast Coordinator, APC. He joins me live in the studio. It's always a pleasure to have you join me.
Thank you for having me this evening, Messi.
Thank you for coming. Well, let me begin by saying you've seen in recent time what the debate around the tax reform bills, and at a point it divided the Nigerian Senate. So, but first of all, what is your position on the tax reform bills?
Well, thank you to our beautiful listeners, and at least people are in a situation right now, Messi. The tax reform bill is not what should be discussed right now, because Nigerians are in a situation where they've, as soon as he assumed office, he removed the subsidy, 100%. I think Nigerians are in a situation, Nigerians are in pain. So tax reform, what is he reforming? What are we talking about when Nigerians are in difficult situation? My thought was, even if scenario we're going to analyze him doing that, it should be periodical, but not at a go. And right now there are states that are not going to have it easy. There are Imo State, Enugu State, Zamfara, Sokoto, and KB State, and that of my state, Gombe State. And there are even in the southwestern states, there are about 3 different states. I think Oshun and Ondo will be part of the situation. And the tax reform bill is only favoring a particular states or 2 states. Lagos State will get the huge amount of money, and that of Rivers. Oil producing state will be able to get something, but Lagos is getting about 60% of the sum. So what are we saying? If something will be like in Enugu states where the Igbos are producing some things individually, so and then they will now forward it to Lagos State, and Lagos State will now repackage it and send it and resell it to Nigerians, and they will now get the more incentive of the money. And again, all the headquarters of banks are in the headquarters are in Lagos. I will now have a transaction in Abuja, in Enugu, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Ebonyi State, but then Lagos State will now the information will go to reach Lagos, and then they will now remit from my own transaction. While I'm doing my business here in Abuja, I'm doing my business in Enugu State. Where I do my business should get the VAT. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It shouldn't be where this headquarters will now get more, and the place where I did do the transaction will now benefit zero. Where you do your business should be where, even if it is in Enugu State, I now enter bank and do my transaction, or I bought some things, the state should get from the VAT, not Lagos. So I think the southwestern people, or his reform is just based on Lagos.
You think so?
Yeah, because that is the reason. Because all headquarters of banks, all headquarters of like MPA right now is in Lagos, and everything that is coming to Lagos should be given to, okay, fine. If the headquarters of MPA, what do you call VAT should be remitted to Lagos State, but this huge amount of money should go to the center, where Nigerians will all benefit. All the 36 states will benefit. All the local government will benefit. But it shouldn't be where I will produce something in my own state, or I will produce beans or yam or something, and then it will now be transported to Lagos State. Lagos State will now repackage it and make it more, beautiful, or well packaged, and then we'll sell it to Nigeria, where those people will now be given much more than the main producer. So the Nigerians are given Lagos what it should be given, but it shouldn't be where they will now sit down and Nigerians, the whole coalited states, all the 36 states, will be remitting to Lagos. It doesn't make sense. So mine is that, okay, fine, we have people in Nnewi doing their transaction and everything. That money should be transacted and remitted to the state, so that the people of the state will benefit more. Schools, roads, hospitals, because they are generating revenue. But it shouldn't be because the headquarters, because they have water in Lagos, and offshore and onshore will be coming It doesn't go that way. So it means that they now said, the 1999 Constitution now said that, okay, fine, all the headquarters of all places should be in Abuja, headquarters. So what if scenario analyze the headquarters now, and another president will now come and say, no, I wouldn't agree with that. All the headquarters of banks should move to Abuja. So it means Abuja alone will be getting the huge amount of the VAT collected, collecting from those banks. And there are industries, pharmaceutical organization, pharmaceutical office components, biscuit components, the local drinks components that are all based in Lagos. So it means that those components will be remitting, giving tax to Lagos State, which is okay. So, and then the huge amount should be remitted to the headquarters, so that all state will now benefit from it. What are we benefiting? Enugu State is benefiting from Gombe. Gombe is benefiting from Bayelsa. Bayelsa is benefiting. That is how Nigeria should, the transaction should be. Because the building of all the refineries were made on, the history has given us opportunity to understand. We have cocoa, we have groundnut pyramids, we have palm oil, you understand? So they correlated all those things to build the refineries in order for all Nigerians to benefit from it. Whether it doesn't matter whether the refinery is in rivers or delta. It belongs to Nigeria. It doesn't belong to the state. What should be given to the state should be given to the state. So mine is that it's not about the VAT. When you remove the subsidy, where is the subsidy money going? Nigeria should understand that, okay, fine, the subsidy money, all Nigerians are going to school free because they've removed subsidy, petroleum subsidy. So now we are giving free education to all Nigerians, wherever they come from. So now Nigerians will now understand that, okay, fine, they have removed subsidy. Our children are going to school. We have malaria treatment free in the hospital. Oh, but what are we benefiting? And now they are adding up another situation. Or how much are we getting? Are we buying bag of rice today? And they want to remit from Nigerians again? For me, particularly, I am not into this, and I will not support that. And the debate, he understands that is very, very tough. It's debatable, and it's very tough. And it wouldn't just flow. Nigerians are debating. People are in situation. And how can I go back to my constituency and now start discussing APC without Nigerians understanding, without my locality understanding that they have benefited from who they voted for? Did Tinubu win Lagos? No. He didn't win Lagos, but they are remitting distance to Lagos State, Lagos Ibadan, because they have the huge amount of components. So what they wanted to do is that where there are components, productions, they will get more, chunk of the money that is coming out from different denomination, all states. Because even if you are transporting out, what do you call, transporting it out, or you understand, import and export, out, it means it has to go to Lagos. So Lagos will benefit. But it shouldn't be where we will transport something like my states are producing beans from so much. If we are transporting it out, it means Lagos will benefit more. The state that produce it should gain from it. Should understand that, okay, fine, we are the producing states, we produce this, like cassava. There are places in southeastern Nigeria. Cassava are transporting it, they're taking it out, exporting it out. So if you are taking it to Lagos, it means Lagos are benefiting more from it. But it says, okay, fine, they have water in Lagos. There is no how you can't work without Lagos. But now, can Lagos survive without Kano State? No, because there are things that will come out from the what do you call, the port, and it will not be revealed until they go to Kano State and what do you call, unpackage it. And there are things that if you want spare parts, you have to go to Nnewi. There are things that you must go there. So We know that there are traders that are more effective in different places, that are more going to give us a head go, but not that they will now sit down and create an avenue of where they wanted to submerge another places, another states. Okay, fine. I will tell you his reform. His reform, the what do you call, the chairman of FIRS has he worked with the government, the Tinubu when he was a governor. Minister of Finance worked with Tinubu. The chairman of the reform, tax reform, has worked with Tinubu in Lagos. So they know how to go about it. They know how to do about it. So, but there are states that does not have anything. So does it mean those states will be hungry? Does it mean because they are not producing anything they will be hungry? Does it mean that, okay, fine, there are some of the policies that are good, but this reform of who gets the chunk amount of money should be given it to those the states that have much more competence. After they are getting taxes from the competence, why are you remitting something? Because it means Nigeria, it means food will be high again. It means we can't buy foodstuffs again. How much are we buying one bag of rice today? I thought that they will sit down and analyze that, okay, Nigerians are having difficulties, okay, fine, we'll now give a Minister of Agric a chunk of amount of money so that they will now have productive systems in order to subsidize fertilizers to all different states, and then federal government will be buying the food from the local farmers in order to refine the food, make it more affordable for Nigerians. Like what do you call, cash and carry, next cash and carry. They should build places in different states so that people will know where to go and buy food from the government, direct from the government, so that the masses will now understand, okay, fine, we are benefiting from the state because, yeah, they have removed subsidy, they bite us from this place, but at least they are blowing the pain in another way. But you are creating another situation of which Nigerians are not even happy. But
looking at it, well, viewers, at this point, our phone lines are now open for you to call in to join in the conversation. This tax reform bill, you're strongly against this bill, I can see. But then this tax reform bill, since the administration of President Bola Tinubu, this is one policy that Nigerians has come out to say, we accept is a fantastic one. And now this reform policy also exempted some sort of people described as the poor Nigerians or the average Nigerians, people earning below 1 million naira. And with this, and you still say you talked about the timing. So with this, I be exempting some people, some Nigerians, and Nigerians applauding, say, okay, this is a fantastic move from Mr. President. And you're talking about the time. What time do you think is the best? But before we go on to that, we have a caller here, and let's hear what the caller have to say.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you join us on the show. Good evening. If you can hear me, good evening.
Okay, my name is Olufemi. I'm calling from Lagos.
Olufemi from Lagos. Glad to have you join us. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, I think, I would like to make a comment concerning what the gentleman is saying.
Okay.
I think he's talking as though he has not taken out time to go through the tax reform bill.
Okay.
Now, I don't work with any government, but when this matter arises, the first thing I have to do is to go and download the tax bill and go through it. Now, what the tax bill is saying, the man is saying different things from the tax bill. Now, if you look at the current tax bill, every income goes to Lagos because there are headquarters of companies in Lagos. But the new tax bill is based on consumption. Consumption simply means if I'm trading in, let's say I have a bank and I'm doing my banking transaction in Anambra State, the charges will be charged in Anambra State, not the headquarters in Lagos.
All right.
I will answer him.
Because
okay.
Is that all?
yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining the conversation. So I want you to respond.
This is very, very beautiful. I understand what he's talking about. Before they remitted, because the House sat down and realized that there are some situations where they now said that no, that there are places of which states will get this, masses will get this. So why do you think that it hasn't been passed? It's because they are still working on it. I know what he's talking about, and I understand it very well, and I have it on my phone. Mine is that if really they wanted to do this, why can't they tell us what they've done with the subsidy money first, before they will start talking about the tax reform bill? If you said that, okay, they are remitting money if you do a business in Inewi or in Enugu state, that the state will, until after when they debated in the House chamber, before they now said, okay, fine, let's, I think Abdul Mumin Jibril, he said something. He said that this is how they now said, okay, fine, we will remit some things, because definitely it's not what they call, it's not one of the best reform bill they brought. So they now said, okay, fine, some states that have their own banks, if I'm banking in Gombe, then the state should get it. Before Mr. President now, okay, he now said, yes, we agree. But at first, they said no. The first one, if he have it on his phone or on his laptop or whatever he have, that is not how it is. But until last 2 weeks, they now said, okay, fine. What we're going to do is that every step that have their own transaction, the transaction should be given to the state.
Okay.
Until last 2 weeks, not up to 2 weeks. So I understand. It's the same thing I'm saying. I am talking about, because we wanted to make sure that it happened. We wanted to. Yes, I was one of the first guest speaker in what do you call this day do. We discussed this with Justin thing, because we have youths that came across Nigeria in order to correlate this and discuss how the reform bill should go about. Because if you're talking about someone that does not have, that doesn't earn more than $1 million, how many people do you think? Why can't they use that money in order for all Nigerians to go to school? Free education. Don't give us anything.
But don't you think, in a way, this is going to, encourage, what do they call it, production in states, and at least creating room for jobs, and still going into competition.
Beautiful.
But please give me a moment. I have a caller here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Obote. I'm calling from Akwa Ibom.
Your name is what?
Obote.
Obote from Akwa Ibom. Oh, glad to have you join us. All right, please go ahead.
Obote.
All right.
I just want to find out why tax is the mainstay of this administration.
Okay.
Every day we hear of tax, Why can't we hear of something production, and then exportation? We start tax on everybody. Why do we really have tax every day in this administration? Presently, my account is being taxed. It's called Federal Government Electronic Money Transfer Tax, 50 naira every day. It's so bad. It's affecting people. It's really affecting people. We should look at something else, not tax. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you. Like so many people are talking about UK, that their tax is so huge. But let me tell you something. In United Kingdom, they have less fortunate people that will have free education. They have emergency call center for police, health facilities in their hospitals. Do we have something like that? If you are creating us, I'm so happy that he talked about this. Wow, what are we removing? What are we taking? From who? Is it not from the masses? This tax that we're talking about is from the masses. It's not from them. Their children are schooling abroad. How much? Okay, there are private schools that they are building in Nigeria. How much are they paying?
But you know that you're aware that there are some businesses that won't be taxed. I think businesses below that earn, is it below 50 million naira or something?
Is there any conductive environment for those businesses? For I cannot travel without security. We don't have food security. We don't have health facilities in the hospital. How do I even do the business without all those basic amenities? If we are looking for those things, he said, okay, fine, we're going to give you, we're going to give some other people's opportunity, like someone that earns lower than you said, 100
$1 million naira.
$1 million naira. He cannot afford to eat. We're talking about $1 million naira. Though there are people that can't afford to eat food. There are people that their children cannot even go to schools. There are people that cannot even afford hospitals just malaria treatments.
Okay, then you've pointed out your views, but I still insist on when you think this reform bill is best to be brought up. But before you take that question, I think I have Isaac from Jigawa. Is that it? Good evening. If you can hear me, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. I think Jigawa, but I don't know if I got your name correctly.
Yes, Ifak Ismail from Jigawa.
Okay.
Okay, for the comment on what my colleague is saying here, really, I'm with him.
Okay.
Because, first of all, since the removal of subsidy, the cost of education for the university has gone high, above what an ordinary man can afford.
Okay.
Now, since the removal, we are expecting that the money removed for subsidy should be allocated to educational system in the country, to all the universities, for what they require to give proper education to the Nigerians. Even though, if because of university levy is at 20,000, people are able to afford.
Okay.
Now, no single course that a student will have don't pay more than 100,000 naira to some universities.
Okay.
So when talking about tactics, at my age, I'm now 55 years of age old. I have been right away from the day one. Nigeria has got a character whereas when they just say they are increasing civil servant salary, the market cost of item will go high.
Okay.
Not the cost of petrol or something like that, the attitude of Nigeria. We should make sure that whatever they are going to implement, are we up to that attitude that you can afford it and do it, which is the reality.
Okay. All right.
We Nigerians, we are not sincere to ourselves.
Okay.
We Nigerians are not sincere to ourselves and we are not helping ourselves, especially the government themselves. People have position to do the needful to the society and the one suffering the society.
All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Why tax for the masses?
No.
Because the removal of subsidy has not benefited the masses. Talking about tax again. If they implement this tax, the masses, as my brother said, the masses are going to suffer more. I know Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your contribution and have yourself a great evening.
Thank you very much.
All right. So,
Yes, Messi, as he said, there are things that need to be put in place before the general tax reform. Why can't they say that, okay, in the next 10 years, we would like to introduce this for the betterment of all Nigerians? But we have to put this in place. We have to make sure that we have structured our basic schools education.
it's quite understandable that, well, your points are quite understandable, but have you also thought about the other factors that are, that could bring benefit, that this tax reform bill could, the benefit of it, like encouraging competition between states? In that way there will be job creation and all that, because now we keep hinting on education.
Can I tell you
but
something?
I tell you that year in year out universities graduate millions and thousands of students, but there is no job anywhere.
What about what I told you something. We have bandits, we have kidnappers, we have people that they are using iPhones, you understand, TikTok. They know where, but if the security really wants to work, why can't we have security for us to have production in our farmlands? But now you can't go to your farmland because of insecurity. But now bandits are using TikTok videos, communicating with the people they kidnap their children or persons. They communicate and they want ransoms, and yet they do not have fighters jet, no armored tanks, no Hilux, but the only thing they're using motorcycles to kill individuals, to kill people, where those people are farmers. If you go to Niger Delta, you see people are vandalizing pipelines. Niger Delta Avengers. If you go to southeastern Nigeria, they now said Biafrans sit at home, because we don't have security, because they don't even trust us. because the masses doesn't trust us, because we've been telling them that we're going to make this, we're going to promise this, we're going to make sure that they have good healthcare facilities in the hospital, we make sure that they have good roads. The politicians are confusing and deceiving people, so the masses now refuse. Now we have agitators from all across Nigeria. We have Boko Haram, they are agitators. We have the southeastern people, the Biafrans. If they're getting it good, why would they want to say that they want Biafra? Because there is no fear in sharing. Because the Nigerians are suffering. You mustn't go to school before you become what you want to become. If in America, we have musicians, but they are multi-billionaires from different places. But what I'm saying is that we can't just create something we do not have the stamina for. It should be given a period time. We should give it a time frame of which, okay, fine, all states should understand. Okay, right now, we have a new state governor, Bago, Niger State. Now he is into agriculture. He has already started doing a whole lot of infrastructure development. Because we are bringing incompetent people. If you are competent enough, you will do something. You create an idea. You create something for your people. But if you want to steal, you want to build a house in Abuja, definitely. What would you have? You have empty head. But mine is that leaders are most effective. I'm always saying this. When they make every one of their voters feel valued, feel treasured. But no. But today they are saying that, okay, fine, we are creating tax reform. The reform is going where? Where are they reforming? If you are reforming Nigeria, you have to reform the individuals. You have to reform the masses. You have to reform our minds. You have to reform the hospitals. The governors, the ministers, the senators are going for what do you call hospitals abroad. Why can't they have a specific hospitals, one in Nigeria? Buhari has been flying out. Tinubu is always traveling out for his health. What do you call for his health? Why can't we have one good health in at least, even if it's not for the masses? At least we'll be remitting from what they wanted to start remitting. Let them start remitting from their pockets. But they want to start remitting from us, from the masses. If really they wanted to do something, as he earlier said, we've removed subsidy. Okay, fine, we are going to divert that money into healthcare and food security. Okay. At least Nigerians should be getting one bag of rice, at least 30,000 or 25. We'll now start uploading them. That, okay, fine, at least they've removed this, but we're getting it from another source. The children doesn't have a good classrooms. Even the teachers are not good. They are not in good sciences.
All right, give me a moment. I'll get back to you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening. This is Leo from Guariba calling the studio.
All right, glad to have you join us.
Yeah, please, I really want to appreciate the guest speaker over there in the studio.
Okay.
He's representing Nigeria. The way he's the amount of 100 of Nigerians out there. And if you see what he's saying, he's not just commenting. You will know he's an intelligent man that know what is happening in the nation.
Okay.
So looking at the four corners of the earth of Nigeria, comparing to what is happening in another world, you will see we are backward. Just like what he said now that make me to call. You see, even when you establish an hospital that is not for the masses, let's just establish that standard of hospital so that you will know, instead of you going to Dubai, going to London, going to Germany, to go and spend those money, spend it in Nigeria. Is Nigeria forbidding the good thing of those facilities? Okay. That is what we're just saying. It's not even saying for the masses. Instead of you mounting these words, traveling abroad for this so care health and all that, establish it in Nigeria so that we can generate the tax here. All right. So I call to appreciate you for the good work you are doing in that studio, and the man and the guest speakers over there. All right. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Really speaking the mind and the millions of Nigeria.
All right. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Over to my guest, speaking the mind of Nigerians, please.
Yes,
we are
listening.
listening.
The bundle of contention is one thing that we all have to understand that 2027 is about to happen, because they're about 2 years right now. So the reform should be given to those that understand what reform is all about. Experts, we have experts on tax reform, we have experts on education, we have experts on petroleum. Okay, right now we said that okay, fine, our Port Harcourt refinery is working. How much barrel have we started, do they refine? At least they should show Nigerian. Ultimately, we are here sitting down in our secondary schools. I've never seen raw crude oil, and we are producing crude oil. We are producing oil producing country. And Nigerians, I am not sure if you know how crude oil is, or you've seen it by your eye. They should show Nigerians in secondary school, in primary school, even in primary school, because we said the largest producing country in Africa. But today we don't even know how crude is like. When we're talking about PMS, the PMS we are consuming is not even refined in Nigeria. Okay, Dangote came on board, now he's saying this. And they are making a decision for him of how to sell the fuel. I own the refinery, and you're telling me that I should sell it on so amount. So who is confusing who? If really they wanted Nigerians to have it more soft, we have one of the largest refinery in the world, belong to Nigerian. Give him the crude oil that he will refine for the country, in order for the country to understand, okay, to have it more fairly, even if it's not good enough. But today Nigerians are buying fuel about 1,000 plus. Does that make sense?
I want to understand why you think some northern governors, northern governors and some northern regions are against this bill. But then, because some says, I want to know, there is this belief that it has something to do with the northern religion, where they bring up the religion, of course. Okay. Where it says forbids, where alcohol has been brought in, and does it have any impact on the Islamic religion? But before then, I think I have someone here, and let's hear what he wants to say. Oh, I sincerely apologize. That's the network. You might have to call us back. So tell us.
Thank you very much. Nigeria is not an Islamic country.
Because now there are some states that say they don't consume alcohol, but then what happens to benefiting what comes from alcohol?
Beautiful.
Give me a moment. I think I have someone here. Hello, good evening. Oh, we lost that caller. Please go ahead.
Beautiful. You asked about why is it that some of the northern states governors are kicking against it. It's not about that. I have about 3 different states in southeastern Nigeria, southeast, that are kicking against it. They have even sat down, even their caucus.
Yeah, but you could see that majority of those who are against it are from the north.
That will be affected. The states that are affected, that will be highly affected in the southeastern Nigeria, are talking about it. Even their governors, they even met and sat, and they were saying that if their representative will kick against it in the National Assembly. The problem is that in the northern part, okay, fine. If they are talking about the state that are not consuming alcohol, it's okay. The producing states, the producing companies that are producing alcohol should be given that amount of tax. They should take the tax. But the problem of the tax is different from what we're talking about. Why are they not saying when they wanted to collect the money, even the northern state governors, why are they collecting the money from the federation account? Even the alcohol money is part of it. Why can't they say that, okay, fine, federal government should remove the tax, the alcohol, VAT? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But they are collecting from the center. So it means they are talking rubbish. What they are talking, mine is that they should understand that people will suffer more. And the state governors that are saying that the alcohol money, they just want to make an English. But mine is that I want to tell you that if they are talking about alcohol money, they are getting the tax collected from the companies of alcoholic down to the federation account, and they are sending it to all state governors, and they are collecting it. Why can't they kick against it? It's not about that. It's about Nigerians. It's about where people will be happy. It's about how things will be more easier for Nigerians. It's about how we'll be able to make it more easier for ourselves. If you are talking about competition of state production, let me tell you something. If the northern people will have security, they don't need anything. They should go back to their farming. We have rural communities that are doing some things. We have irrigational farmers. Federal government should give Nigerians a conducive environment of how Nigerians will be reliant on themselves, not even relying on the federal government. Because people are relying on federal government. Why should I go to university and be relying on 100 or 70,000 per month? Even if federal government will give me 200,000 or 250, it can't even take me. But they should give us an environment of where we'll create an ideas. They should. When I was coming up, we normally do handcrafts by ourselves.
Honorable Dankiako, please give me a moment. This caller might have a question for you. Hello, good evening. If you can hear me, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Adeyemo.
Adeyemo from where?
I'm calling from Oyo State.
All right, please go ahead with your thoughts.
I really thank the guest speaker.
Okay.
He has spoken our mind.
Okay.
If not for the fact that the leaders, our leaders in Nigeria, have conditioned us. Because what I study in school, I study psychology, and there is something we study that they call classical conditioning.
All right.
They will start us to the point that whatever they bring to us, we will accept it.
Oh, we lost that caller. I'm sorry. You might have to call us back. I think the network
It just gave me an idea. When I was coming up, our handcrafts are being crafted by our hands. But today we'll go to some shops and buy some things and make it easier. When I was coming up, normally we do our handcrafts by ourselves. They taught us how to do it in school. But today we don't have good teachers that will even lead us or let us or teach us on how to go about our lives, how to rely on ourselves. But today, even carpentry. Then before we now said tailors are, now we are calling tailors designers. Our tailors are and designers are getting so much money. But before, when you're coming up, when somebody will tell you that, okay, did you want to be a tailor? You said no. Everybody want to be a medical doctor. Everybody want to be a banker. How much the bankers are earning today? They don't earn nothing.
Okay, now you in addressing some of these issues you've mentioned, you repeated security like 100 times here. Now I think the governors have come together to into agreeing to state policing. So I want to understand, what is your take on that? Do you think that will help us address the insecurity challenge we have in Nigeria?
It's not your time.
Even for state policing?
For state police. The governors will now use state police in order to win their elections. The governors will now say, I'm in charge. They will now use their power in order to vandalize some of their opponents.
So for you, it's not even an option in addressing
federal
security.
Police. We have money in Nigeria. We have so much money. We are allocating a lot of money for them. They shouldn't be. You see a police officer owning an estate. You see an army officer owning an estate. Where are they getting the money? So if really Nigeria will going to put an eye to those things, we'll get a better state. But let me tell you something. State police, I'm against it because right now we are not ripe enough. Nigerians, governors, all of Nigerians, even Lagos, they are not matured enough to have their own state police. Because they will bulldoze.
What do you mean? What do you mean when you say matured?
Matured is for you to have a democracy, a strong democracy, and understand.
And you think Nigeria don't have a strong democracy?
Democracy was defined as a political system which maximizes two things: freedom of association, freedom of expression of interest. If I wouldn't express my interest, if I wouldn't associate with my people, if I wouldn't say my mind, it means it's not democracy. When a governor, I will now say something against his policy and he now go against me. How do you think it is? Even right now, federal government are using force in other states. But what do you think about state governors? Federal government couldn't afford to what do you call, to arrest a former governor. One of the governor refused. And you think that if he owns the police, what do you think?
Someone was saying something before the network took him off, and he's calling back. I want to. Hello, good evening. Please make it very, very brief. If you can hear me. Yes.
As I said earlier, the man is speaking the mind of about 200 millions of Nigerians.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Because if not for the fact that you have been conditioned that we must vote for them when the time of the election comes, they won't be getting to the place they are. Are you getting it? Because they don't have us in mind. They don't have us in mind. If they have we masses in mind, all the policies that have been they have been brought up shouldn't be. Are you getting it?
Yes.
The man is speaking our mind.
All right.
God bless the man.
Thank you very much.
Also the anchor of the program.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you, and bless you too. Thank you.
That's my contribution.
All right, have yourself a wonderful evening, and thank you for calling. So please, I want you to wrap up because we're literally out of time.
Thank you for the last caller, but mine is the same thing. If really they wanted to do about the tax reform and everything, they should ask Nigerians. Common Nigerians should have they should ask their opinions. What do you think about this? We should have.
That is why the Senate, that is why they've decided to go for
but you said they have decided
public hearing
first,
and as in a way where the lawmakers can also get back to their constituency who voted them in to come represent them, get their opinion, and so far we'll just wait and see what comes out of the bill.
The lawmakers are going to their what do you call it, environment.
You can't say that.
I have contested. I know
Thank you.
Nigeria.
Thank you so much for being with me in the studio this evening. Abdulhamid and Kiako. It's been wonderful having you around. This is where we draw the curtain for today's episode on Spotlight with Mercy. Thank you for sticking around with us and keep watching Kaftan Television. Until we come your way some other time, I am Mercy Emelite, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye for now.